them all in boxes!
Beat the bloody block!
You can't go in there! There's been an accident!
Why do you persist? You put us down, we rise again. You end one plot, we forge another. You try so hard, but it always ends the same. Those who know you think you mad, and this is why. Even those men you sought to save have turned their backs on you. Yet you fight. You resist. Why?
Because no one else will.
Rough night, was it? He headed inland. Took a ferry up the Charles River.
I will need passage as well.
Of course. Only say the word.
Why would they leave this behind?
Long have we waited for you to return. You have done as we asked. You have succeeded.
No! I have failed! My people are gone! Chased out by those who I thought would protect them!
It is a trade, a sacrifice, and not in vain. For you have found it.
This?
Now you must hide it, where none shall think to look, and then in time, what once was, shall be again.
I do not understand.
Nor need you. Only do as we ask. Then you may do as you wish.
But what of my people?
You have saved this place, as was your people's purpose, and that matters most.
It is not enough.
It will never be enough. You strive for that which does not exist. Still, you have made a difference, and you will do so again. Remember, you must hide the amulet where none might find it.
After the Haytham Kenway assassination, you would be forgiven for thinking the game was over. Nope, still gotta find that dastardly Charles Lee. In spite of Connor's revenge wall being topped with a dead Haytham, throughout the game it felt like he had the bigger revenge boner for Charles Lee, who, to be fair, was the biggest jerk of the group and the most nonsensically evil. He's also the one with the key to the precursor temple given to him by Haytham after he fled New York. After the British were defeated, Charles returned to the public eye in order to conduct Haytham's funeral, and where he assumed that Connor would catch up with him, and therefore brought an armed guard with him. One Connor was stupid enough to blunder into for enough time for Charles to threaten the entire assassination brotherhood. Of like 2 people in the States, well, maybe 5. With this in sight, Charles left the funeral to go find help at a local mercenary vessel. Now, I'm not a military-minded guy, but it probably isn't the best idea to try and build up your power base with forces comprised entirely of mercenaries. Those jerkwads will turn on you in a second for literally any reason. Thankfully, after the meeting on the ship that required some ludicrous stealth to attend, Charles left himself open on the pier just enough for Connor to chase him into the shipyard, into a half-completed vessel where he had to parkour chase Charles around so fast that the ship eventually caught fire, making for the world's deadliest parkour challenge invented. One that Connor came out on top just enough to crash down 2 floors and get America's biggest splinter jammed into Connor's torso. Charles is a dramatic fellow, and so began gloating at Connor having somehow sustained no injuries from the massive fall he just took. Lee should have just run because for his trouble he ended up getting shot in such a way that allowed him to flee back into the city and have a final drink. Sure, Lee was probably bleeding quite a bit, but how did he leave such an obvious trail that Connor caught up to him within 5 minutes? At the bar. Tells you a bit about him, doesn't it? And what I want to say about Lee's cutscene of demise is that it's one of the most beautiful and well-captured moments in this whole franchise. Charles Lee and Connor Davenport are spectacularly wounded, and they end up in a backroom bar table for their final confrontation, where, in complete silence, mind you, Charles offers Connor a drink for catching up to him, they exchange a glance or two, and then Connor painfully reaches across the table very frickin' slowly and stabs Charles, where he falls on the table and dies. The knowing realization and relative respect he has for Connor as the man who defeated him is what makes this one of the best cutscenes in gaming. It's a bit like the final boss fight in MGS4, except in completely cinematic form. Yeah, the difficulty cranks up a bit for this final chapter, and there is some bullshit, plus Charles isn't as fun a character as Haytham Kenway, and is being the most evil person of the group for little to no reason. But that final cutscene gives him a lot of points in spite of that, plus the whole thing just makes for a great way to end Assassin's Creed 3. It literally should have ended right there instead of all the bullshit that's coming next with the Desmond framing device, but Creed's got a creed and nothing I can do about that but finish this video with a Charles Lee scoreboard.